10 seconds to go. Colin Bond will be hoping for a good start from the third row of the grid in car 7. Kevin Bartlett knows that Peter Fitzgerald is just sensational way. So here they go. Fitzgerald's good. Bartlett's a little bit quicker though, and he's just sort of picking up slightly on him. A great amount of smoke coming from one of the Starions there.
That was Brian Sampson. I think he had a little bit of an over-exuberance on the throttle when he was leaving, which doesn't help you a lot.
Well, there must be a touch here. I don't know how they all missed. Fitzgerald was third into the corner and first out. And I don't know who opened the door for it. They'll be cursing it because once he gets in front, he is the hardest driver to pass. Look at Colin Bond up into second spot. Kevin Bartlett back to fifth. Very unhappy. But it's the pal colour, the familiar colour of Peter Fitzgerald out in front. Colin Bond into second spot. Brad Jones up there. I wouldn't like to be trying to cross the road at that point.
Fitzgerald is obviously in a groove, Evan. He's been just stepped out of one race into another, and from that point of view, whilst he may be a bit puffed out, he obviously is in a groove, and it'll be handy for him for that. The fact that he knows where it all goes, he doesn't have to think and figure it all out.
Well, Fitzgerald has won the series. Colin Bond, who hasn't and can't, is up into second spot. He'd dearly like to win the last race. Then Brad Jones, then Brian Sampson, and then Kevin Bartlett. Then it's Mark Pickett, and then it's the second Alfa of Gerard Murphy. Those are the leaders at this stage. Colin Bond has made up a bit of ground.
Yes, I think in a groove or not, he's about to attack him if he can get a little bit closer, and good luck to him. Mainly so we can see a race, because that's obviously what it's all about.
When he lapses the distance, Colin Bond lurking in the shadow of Peter Fitzgerald. Colin has made up ground, there's no doubt. He started from the third row of the grid, Fitzgerald on the front. Fitzgerald was led into the corner, the first corner, by two other cars, but got through them both. I don't know how to this day he got through. To this minute, it wasn't that long ago, was it?
Certainly, perhaps a little bit of the fall of the cards, and I often say that it's not just the fact that you're smarter than the other bloke. If the cards happen to fall the right way for you, as it would have appeared happened then, as you said, someone opened the door for him, he said thanks very much, and away he went. Yes,
well, there was a great battle between Brad Jones and Kevin Bartlett for the lead, and I think Brad Jones went a bit wide and took Kevin with him, and just opened the door, and Peter Fitzgerald said, gee, that's nice, and through he went. And Fitzgerald, who's won more races than anyone in this series, doesn't need to be given the lead. He's hard enough to beat without giving him some sort of advantage like that. He's in front now. Colin Bond still in second spot and about the same station as before, and a whole line of Starions behind him. So it's two factories who are supporting the series with official entries, Mitsubishi and Alfa Romeo, who are leading, although it's not the factory Mitsubishi in front. It's the pal colour private car of Peter Fitzgerald. The factory Starion is, in fact, the Kevin Bartlett car, which started from pole position but is now back, I think, in about fifth place. That's Kevin.
Well, Fitzgerald is certainly holding down a good lead here, and Colin Bond seems to pick him up a little bit, and then it goes away again. So I would imagine they're both lapping at similar sort of times.
Well, Colin's under a fair challenge from Brad Jones now. It's a circuit that does favour turbocharged cars. Got a long straight, plenty of room to use acceleration. The great forte of the Alfa is its handling and its braking. And it's the turbocharged Japanese cars which have distinguished themselves on the fast straights, and Jones make the move on the outside. He obviously has a little more acceleration, a little more pace than the Alfa, and trying hard to make up with Colin. Colin had a great start and seemed to be able to get the power down a bit better, a bit earlier, but now that the tires have warmed up on the Japanese cars, I assume they're running on the Yokohama tires too. It's did so well in practice yesterday. That's just suited the wet, cold, slippery conditions. A lot of smoke being
They're certainly
blown
capable of spinning the wheels, those old Starions, and they step in them a bit hard and really smoke the place up a bit, which is not a good way to drive, as you'd understand, because while a wheel is spinning like that, it's not putting enough maximum power down to
I think we might have had trouble with Brad Jones. He seemed to slow right down there. Just hard to see in the tail end of that shot, but I saw Brian Sampson going past him. He was running up in third place. Colin Bond in second spot. Certainly he doesn't have the Starion right up his tail. There he goes. Oh no, Brad Jones still there. 25 laps, sorry, 15 laps to go. A 20-lap race. This is the final in the Bob Jane T-Mart's Australian Super Series. A great concept, and I think a very successful series of races too. More prize money than we've seen in the series in this country before, $200,000. The actual prizes themselves, which have only just been announced, are more in goods than in cash, but the winner, Peter Fitzgerald, is going to win for himself an Eliminator, which is a good word for a man who's eliminated most of the field. 21-foot day cruiser, designed and built in California, powered by a 455 cubic inch, 390 horsepower, fully marinized Oldsmobile V8 motor. He could do with that now, through a Barclay jet drive unit. It's all included on a custom-made trailer. Then TAA Chateau Commodore, 7 days and nights flying TAA the friendly way, and staying at the Chateau Commodore in Perth. So you got a holiday, and a set of Cheviot mag wheels with Dunlop steel radial tyres, and the value of that, $32,000. That's what Peter Fitzgerald is going to win. So he's got a boat, he's got a holiday, and he's got a set of mag wheels.
Certainly, it's injected a lot of enthusiasm into the racing scene, Evan, and I think any time anyone with once again, we're talking about the vision of the Bob Jane organisation, you see this sort of thing happen, and it really fires up the enthusiasm and gets the crowds along and really generates the sort of thing that we like to see, and that is some close competitive motor racing.
The series has been run here at Calder, at Adelaide International Raceway, and at Amaroo Park in Sydney. Fitzgerald has dominated. He's won more races than anyone else. Brian Sampson has also won, and they're the only two drivers, both in Starion, who've scored victories, which is one reason why Colin Bond would love to come out at the finish and just put his Alfa in front.
I'm just looking at the field as I went past the front of the tower here, and I see Alan Grice well back in the field, and it's sad or funny, whichever way you look at it, how your fortunes change in this category. When they were given a few little additions that they were allowed to have, and that car of Grice's went from being a leading contender back to sort of probably position 12 or something, which is...
That's the way they're running at the moment after 5 laps, as you can see. Fitzgerald in the Starion, Bond in the Alfa, Sampson in the Starion, Bartlett in the Starion, Jones in the Starion, and Murphy in the Alfa. Alan Grice in car 6. One reason he's back so far is in one of the very small cars in the event. It's the Mitsubishi, I'll say that again. It's the little Nissan Pulsar Turbo. This is the Australian developed car. I've driven them, John. They're a lovely car to drive. Not a race car in their natural way, but turbocharged, 1.5 litres. Oh, Jones is in the pits, so we did say before maybe he was having some sort of problem, because he did slow just temporarily. And Jones, who was running second at one stage, now in the pits. And that's the end of his chances in this event, of course. The pit crew having a look under the bonnet, something there. And by the way, when they turn a full circle like a dog about to sit down, you know they've got trouble.
Yes, it's usually, as you say. And they're in the throes of shaking things at the moment, which usually doesn't help a lot either, or it's indicative of not quite knowing what the problem is. Pretty soon we've got our cameras close on the scene down there. I'm sure we'll get a look under the bonnet any minute.
Talk about close. Colin Bond has closed up quite dramatically. Look how close he is now to Peter Fitzgerald. He's moved up, what, 6 car lengths, 7, braking very late.
Serious, that's for sure.
Making a big move now. It's a 20-lap race. They've covered 8. So they have at this stage about 11 3/4 to go, and Bond is closer than he's been at any time since that opening lap when he came from the 3rd row to put himself very close behind Fitzgerald.
Even when you see that there, Evan, Colin just locked the brake for a relatively short amount of time, and he was very, very close to him, and he just dropped back maybe 10 or 15 feet, which is...
Let's go down to the pits where Brad Jones is, and again to Stephen Phillips.
Where he was, he's actually left, unfortunately. As we say, we're going down. Okay. Brad Jones is just driving
talking
out.
of left, Bruce Linton in the BMW also has left the track. Look at the marks on the side. That's not a cheap sort of outing for the BMW, is it?
No, that's what we were saying before in earlier races about these cars. They do get a lot of close attention from other competitors.
Well,
oops, there we go.
Take that, he said, and take that again. Ian Burrell in the Cordia. Well, that could have been so much worse. Burrell in the Cordia and Linton in the BMW came together. The BMW is one who spun off. Burrell kept on going. And this is the Graham Babington Lacer. We started from the tail of the field alongside the other Lacer of Phil Alexander. And he's pulled the little Ford-built car into the pits, and he's stepping out. So that looks as though Babington is out of the event. It's a race with different classes, and in fact it's been Phil Alexander in a similar car, another Lacer who has scored so well in the smaller category. Let's go and see what happened to Graham Babington. Stephen, what's the story?
We've done 6 races, and in the final, that's it.
Just a bit of over-exuberance.
Yes, youthfully over-exuberance.
Naturally. They expect you, Evan.
Well, it's nice to see you can still laugh anyway, and I think that's one of the good things about motor racing, that we do tend to see this happen. Blokes will have these misfortunes. You see Alan Grice get out of the car laughing and so forth, and they get philosophical after a while.
Well, let's see whether it's going to be either Peter Fitzgerald or Colin Bond who's laughing when the race is over. We'll be returning to the action in just a moment. Back to Calder, and with 7 laps to go, what a race we've gone. Way on the left-hand side of your screen, that's the leader, Peter Fitzgerald, and look who's behind him, and look how close he is, Colin Bond. And Fitzgerald trying to block him. Bond went on the inside. There was just a shower of fiberglass. He knocked the front of the car. He's been hit. He's going on the inside still. There's an Alfa stood there, but there's a slight change in the appearance of the Alfa there, where he just crumpled the nose a little bit under the tail of the Starion. He's on alongside him, and he's got the line now. He has got the line, and Bond is on the inside coming towards the bend on the back straight, and Fitzgerald will have to give way here. Does he? No, he's going to hang on. That's a brave line. Colin's forced to go on the grass. He hits wide. Fitzgerald will have the line now because he's pushed Colin out, and they're back like they were before. It's Fitzgerald and Bond. Sensational driving round there.
I'd like to see a bit of close racing, and as you say, even a little bit of touching, provided it's not too bad. Well, Bond's a bit out of shape there.
Yes, the front is a bit flatter than it was. It hasn't quite got the graceful Italian lines it used to have, but if ever you doubted that Fitzgerald was a bit of a tiger, he certainly showed it. He held onto a perilous line around the corner to get back on the right line through it. Now he's going across, and Colin will say, thank you. You have to go there. I'll stay here, and we'll see what happens. It's a quick line, as Fitzgerald shows, but doesn't he go in fast? Locks up a brake as he tries to keep on, locks it again. Colin's come through fast, takes the inside. Side by side, it's touchy once again. But the extra power of the turbo shows initially, but then Bond winds it out, and once again, down they go towards the start of the S's. Now, can Bond get on the line again this time? Will they touch again? Oh, yes, they're going to. Oh, goodness me.
Fitzgerald was actually showing what I was saying before, Evan, down out of that bottom corner there, where he's accelerating so hard. It's difficult not to step in the pedal so hard and spin the wheels, but you actually lose by doing it, and it's very difficult to...
He's got sideways. Bond is right inside, just a little touch, but Fitzgerald held it very clever. And he gets out of there quickly. Bond tailing him. He wants the aerodynamic drag, the pull, the extra effect the toe will give him. That front of his is bent quite badly. Dented down where he ran into the back of Fitzgerald just before Fitzgerald ran into the side of him. So they've each paid their compliments to the other. They've covered 15 laps. We have a little more than 4.5 to go, and it's sensational motoring here at the front.
Peter Fitzgerald got out of it a lot better than too, Evan, by not spinning the wheel, which is, as I say, they lose ground doing that, which is difficult to adjust the throttle to the right amount so you don't do it, but that's the points out the goodies from the baddies, I suppose.
Through the S's again, coming down towards Glowweed. A fast exit from this corner is vital. Fitzgerald will go through quickly. Bond is closing and is coming out a little faster. It'll be in Fitzgerald's interest to slow him down a bit and use the extra blast of the turbo to draw away, but Bond is there quickly, playing their private game as they come up to the line for 4 laps to go when they cross. And if Fitzgerald went any closer to the pits, he'd take the paint off. Bond, who will go for the outside line? Bond knows if he goes there, he'll probably lose out. Bond goes there, though, and has a quick line through. He'll have to brake or he'll hit him. Fitzgerald just slows a little bit. Bond takes to the dirt. He was a rally driver and doesn't mind it out there. And now it's just sheer drag. First the Mitsubishi, then the Alfa score. The Alfa going deep again, side by side. Who will brake later? Will Fitzgerald give? No, he said, I'm going deep of new and I'm going to turn. And if you don't get in my way, I'll hit you. Which is a fair argument. So it's nose to tail again. They've covered 16 3/4 laps in this 20-lap contest. This is the final of the Bob Jane T-Mart's $200,000 Australian Super Series. A lot of smoke from the rear wheel there of Fitzgerald's car as he applies the power. Bond comes out a bit more cleanly. And the V6 Alfa right on the tail of the turbocharged 4-cylinder Mitsubishi. 2 of the stars of the series. And a fitting finale to what's been a great series of races in Australia. And meantime, just in case you're wondering what's happening back in 3rd spot, it's Brian Sampson, who is half a car length in front of Kevin Bartlett, both in Starion. And they're about 500 metres back from this pair. There they are, and you can see Bartlett now challenging again. It's just like up front, isn't it?
Yes, they're just as serious about those places back there.
Kevin Bartlett going on the outside now and gets by Brian Sampson.
He really jumped past him like something was wrong with Sampson's car,
yes,
didn't he?
It's like a stone out of a slingshot.
Yeah. Staging this battle for race long, so I guess they catch a bit here and catch a bit there.
There's some great battles going on in the field, and I was just watching Alan Grice in the middle of this and Tulsa, who's going great guns further back. But let's follow the lead with only 2 laps to go as they cross the line, because it's such a great challenge here being flung out by Colin Bond and such a great defensive drive by Peter Fitzgerald. He must be tired. Just won the race before in the Porsche, a long race. Now he's in another long race in a totally different car. And still driving like a champion. The champion that he's shown he is. This year, his efforts throughout the season have been just outstanding. Now, will he give room for Bond to come on the inside? No. He says, I'll take the inside, Colin. You have a go at the outside. It's not too good out there. But then he decides he doesn't mind it after all.
Either side, that's right.
And goes and has a look at it. Now, what can Colin do about it? Colin bounces his wheel on the inside of the bend. He must wish that the Mitsubishi wasn't there because he was going faster into that corner and had to brake, lost a bit of momentum. Again through this corner. Bond comes out of this very well, but he'll have to slow a little bit because otherwise he'll run into the back of the Mitsubishi, which is very close to opening the boot anyhow. Down the straight again. This will be 1 lap to go. 1 lap. The final of this $200,000 series. Could we have a closer finish to it? Fitzgerald and Bond. Bond early on decides he'll go wide. He won't be first into the corner, but he might be first out. It's a fast line. He puts his wheel into the grass, comes through very quickly. Fitzgerald cleverly blocks the line and forces Colin to go wide. He wanted to go on the inside, but he couldn't go there because the pale colour car was there. Looked in his rear vision mirror. A couple of cars in front, but they're a long way away. They'll have a clear run to the checkered flag, and Fitzgerald still leads. Bond trying desperately. He's got 2 more corners. 2 more corners. But Fitzgerald is clean through there and fast and just draws away a little bit. That's as much a lead he's had in 5 laps. But Colin might be trying to side save up for a really fast exit. He comes through there very fast, has closed up a little bit, but I think it'll be Fitzgerald in the Mitsubishi Starion who'll take the checkered flag. Down the line they come, passing one of the slower laces. Bond is making a last-minute effort, but he'll have to be content with second spot, and it's Peter Fitzgerald, the winner of the series, who wins the final series heat here at Melbourne International Raceway. And that, John Sheppard, was a great finish to a big series.
Yes, excellent racing. That's really what the crowds pay to see, and as I was saying before, the money that's been injected into this I'm sure has had something to do with it.
Fitzgerald in the Mitsubishi wins from Bond in the Alfa Romeo. Then Kevin Bartlett in the Mitsubishi Starion just held off Brian Sampson in another Starion. And then it was car number 15 who came home in 5th place. That was Gerard Murphy in an Alfa GTV. So all Mitsubishis and Alfa Romeos in the first 5 places in the final.